Welcome to the Solid Sports Gaming channel. You're watching another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 240. Today's date is August 19th, 2023. Thank you for watching. I'm Troy West and thank you for always for joining me. Appreciate you guys' patience. Haven't been doing a lot of content as of late because of work and still dealing with my injury with my feet. Other things going on. So, but I've definitely been trying to do the blogs. This is our final NFL Roundabout Series division. The AFC West is the division we're talking about today. This is our final one. Then I plan on taking a break from the blog and coming back for our NFL preview special, which will be the Wednesday before the season. I want to say it's like September 8th or 9th, something like that. I'll probably check it. Actually, I'll be able to check it because we'll be looking at the Kansas City Chiefs today, and they lead off the NFL season. So that day before that, we'll do a special NFL season preview special to get us ready for the season. My predictions, who I think will make the Super Bowl, MVP, or we'll have all those predictions. Well, I'll have all those predictions for you guys in that show. That'll be the next show. So I think the next two Saturdays, I'm not going to do a show at all. Then we'll start doing our normal shows where we talk about all sports. We talk about NBA and MLB as well. We'll be pushing towards the playoffs there. So we'll start doing our normal blogs again, do our NFL picks for the week. That's what we're going to do. The plan for the next few weeks for the blog. For us, for the rest of the channel, I just got to catch up on some projects. Crash Team Rumble, I just ain't been playing it that much. But I'm gonna probably do a live. I'm gonna try to do a special live in a few hours. It is almost 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll probably go live around 6:30, 7 o'clock for maybe an hour or two with that, since I haven't played that. I don't know if they have a special event this weekend. Last weekend there was XP, and they had a free trial for people that didn't have the game. You could have played it free for the weekend, but I didn't play that game at all last weekend. I still was dealing with my injury. I'm still not 100% recovered. I really don't know what's wrong. I just had some pain in my feet. I could walk a lot better than I did when it first happened. So it happened 2 weeks ago today. So it's been 2 weeks, so it has improved. But still having a few issues. Well, was it a week ago? It might have been a week ago. No, it's been 2 weeks because it's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. Yep, we're talking about the AFC West today. So that's the Denver Broncos, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the LA Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to do it a little different today. Usually I go straight alphabetical order. We still are, but we're going to save the Chiefs for last. They're the defending champions. So I'm going to save them for last. We're going to talk about the Broncos in a few seconds. This division, like I said, I was talking to a few people. This division is also very interesting. A lot of good teams. The AFC is just loaded, period. But this division, Raiders have some pieces, Broncos, can they turn around? They disappointed to see the Sean Payton's there now. We're going to talk about that in a few seconds. And the Chargers are up and coming. Can Justin Herbert take that next step? If so, they're going to be a problem as well. So a lot of good teams in the division, but the Chiefs are the champions until further notice. They're still the champions and still got to be the team to be in this division. But we're going to save them for last. We're going to start with the Denver Broncos first. Broncos, of course, got Russell Wilson last season. Was everybody's sort of hot pick to do some damage in this division in the AFC, but it didn't come to pass. Russell Wilson probably had his worst year of his career. The defense did its part. The Broncos could put up enough points, and that's basically why they lost a lot of games last year. Nathaniel Hackett, rookie head coach, he only lasted that year. He's out the door. I think they mainly got him for Aaron Rodgers. Now he's in New York. We're going to talk about that in a second. The little back and forth they've been having with the Jets and the Broncos, and they play, I think, week 6. We'll look at their schedule in a second. Just an all-around disappointing season last year for the Broncos. Russell Wilson for the bulk of the blame for that. Can't blame people for thinking that. But I just still believe in him. I just still think he can't play no worse than he did last year. Sean Payton is there now. Supposed to be this. He worked with Drew Brees for a lot of years. Russell Wilson, similar body type to Drew Brees, a little bit more athletic. Drew Brees definitely was way more accurate, but Russell Wilson is a little bit more athletic, can move around in the pocket. So we're going to see what Sean Payton does working with Russell Wilson. Got Cortland Sutton, got some pieces on offense. So the defense, like I said, has been solid the last few years. So Denver could be one of these somewhat surprise teams in the AFC. But overall, Sean Payton impact. I think Sean Payton is a good coach. I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's somewhat overrated. Some people think he's overrated. There's a few people out there that think he's overrated. I just think where he was, what he did for the Saints was pretty much a bottle-feed team. Never really accomplished much in their franchise. They won the Super Bowl that year. And always was somewhat competitive for the most part. Had the 3 straight 7-9 years, which some people don't forget as well, with Drew Brees. So Sean Payton had some down years as well, but I just think it's an offensive mind. I think that's legit, and I think he'll be able to turn Russ around. At least that's what I believe. So I think him being there is definitely going to make the Broncos a better football team. Can Russell Wilson come back? Bounce back? I believe so. Like I said, I always liked the Russell Wilson as a player. Forget the off the field stuff. Like everybody else will talk about the off the field stuff. He got Sierra. Congratulations on that. Sierra does look good. I think she's pregnant again. I think I just seen the latest picture. He got her pregnant again. So they doing their thing. He's doing his thing. And some people even blame her. Like since he really got serious with her, they say he hasn't played well, because the last year in Seattle he didn't play particularly well either. I'm not the one to go there, but it is somewhat a coincidence. But like I said, I'm not the type that's going to go there. If he's happy, he's happy. So and all that other stuff I ain't gonna even get into. But anyway, sort of burned off the top. But I think he's good. I think he can bounce back. I think he can't play no worse than he did last year. I think Sean Payton, like I said, would put him in position to improve and get better. So I believe he's going to have an awesome year. I think that's why Denver is going to be at least a problem, or at least not a walkover to deal with this season for anybody, let alone teams in this division. So with that all that being said, let's look at their schedule and see, how bad it is, how hard it is, because that's what pretty much influenced my my evaluations of some of these teams. So alright, so week 1, they play the Raiders at home. Then they get the Washington Commanders at home, so 2 straight home games to start the season. Then they go to Miami. That's going to be a fun game in Miami against the Dolphins. Then at Chicago. Then they host the Jets. So that's the game everybody anticipated. Now it became a big game. Sean Payton said, actually threw the first shot, saying that Nathaniel Hackett did one of the worst coaching jobs in NFL history, or something to that degree. Then Aaron Rodgers said some things. So that's going to be a big game. I think that's going to be a turning point for both of those teams, where their season is going to go. And it's going to be a big game because it's an AFC game as well. Like I said, there's so many good teams in the AFC, so winning games in the AFC might matter as far as tiebreakers and stuff like that. So that is going to be a big game that could go a long way. Then a Thursday night game at Kansas City, the Chiefs, defending champions, of course. Then they host the Green Bay Packers at home. They're home for the Chiefs again, so they get the Chiefs out the way early. Then Monday night at Buffalo. That should be a tough game. Sunday night hosts the Minnesota Vikings. Then they at home for the Browns. Then at Houston for the Texans. Then they face the Chargers for the first time, so they don't play the Chargers till December. Then they go to Detroit. Then they host New England. Then they finish the season with 2 division games at home for the Chargers, and then at Las Vegas against the Raiders. So not an easy schedule, but not real easy. There's a few games in there winnable, but yeah, they're gonna have a hill to climb this year if they're gonna make the postseason or even challenge the Chiefs for this division. They're gonna have to pretty much win some games that maybe they're not expected to win. So let me just count off real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, more than I thought. 6, 7, 8, 9. So they favored in 9 of these games right now. So somebody believe in them. So if you look at it that way, maybe win a few more games. You're not supposed to. I think the AFC is going to take at least 10 wins, at least maybe 11, because there's just so many good teams. But I think 10 is the base that you got to get to if you're going to make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens with the Broncos. Like I said, it's a team. Once I start really digging into my predictions, I don't know. I probably know my division winners, but I don't know my wild card teams at all. Like especially the AFC, I have no idea how that's gonna work out. So, but Denver will definitely be a contender for that. I believe this season. Let's move on to the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. As like I said, usually the Chiefs would have been the next team, but we're gonna say the Chiefs for last on purpose. The Raiders, like I said, they have talent. Jimmy Garoppolo is not a bad quarterback. Josh Jacobs, he had a monster year last year at the running back position. They got some nice pieces. I like Max Crosby on defense. This team is not, like I said, the AFC, man, if you look at just team by team, there's no team is like, all right, they're going to be bad. Like, all these teams in the AFC, I think, really have a legit shot to at least make the playoffs. Now, it's tiers, I'll put Kansas City, in its own tier, then, we can break down tiers with, I think, who's better, but none of these teams are not terrible teams. The thing with the Raiders is, and I'm gonna get into it in a few seconds, is the coach. I don't believe in the coach that much, so that's my issue with the Raiders. But let's just talk about them in general, like where the direction they going in. But sort of tied to the coach, because the coach obviously got power. What guys he familiar with. Jimmy Garoppolo is one of those guys. That's why they let Derek Carr go. Josh McDaniels, what his guys in there. But the little stints that he had in the NFL, it haven't worked, but maybe it'll work here. I don't know. But really, it's just that I don't believe in him. I think the team overall is fine. Still got Devontae Adams. Forgot about that. Forgot he was even there. Sometimes I forget he's played there. But they got a talented team. But can they get out of their own way? I think that's going to be the issue with this team this year. And like I said, Josh McDaniels, I just don't think highly of him as a coach. Maybe he could prove me wrong this year. I'm not sure, but I don't really believe him as a coach. So that's my issue with the Raiders, really. But at the same time, you look at the talent that they have. You can't dismiss them either. You can't dismiss them. I said John McDaniel definitely proved me wrong. They're gonna be a better team just for the coaching. So Raiders is an interesting team to look out for. They're not gonna be a walkover either. Other than that, let's go ahead and look at their schedule. We know we face the Broncos first. We just said that with the Broncos schedule. Then they at Buffalo. for the Bills. Then host the Pittsburgh Steelers at Sunday night at home. Then at LA Chargers. Then host the Green Bay Packers. That's a Monday night game. Host New England at home. At Chicago for the Bears. At Detroit Monday night. Host the New York Giants at home. Then they get the Jets Sunday night game. Then they in Miami for the Dolphins. Then they get the Chiefs for the first time at home. Then Minnesota comes to Vegas. Then Thursday night game with the Chargers at home. Then at Kansas City. Then they go to Indianapolis for the Colts, and then the final game of the season face the Broncos at home. So, again, schedule not too easy, but you know, but the difference between them and the Broncos, I don't see them favored in the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. They underdogs. 7, 8. They favorites till they face the Giants in week 9. So so a lot of people ain't at least as of now, they only favored in 2 games this season out the whole schedule. So that tells you what other people are thinking. I think they have a shot. Like I said, I think every team in the AFC got a shot to at least make the playoffs. But the Raiders, I would have to say, is on my lower half of who I believe in. It's just because of the recent history, all the changes they made. But they're not a walkover team. They're gonna compete and be there. Losses, McDaniels don't basically mess it up to me. That's my opinion about the Raiders. So we'll see how that goes. So alright, so we're gonna move on to the next team. We ain't gonna waste no time. The LA Chargers fairly made the playoffs last year. Had that debacle against the Jaguars. Was up 27-0, right? Was it 24-0 or 27-0? I think it was 27-0, and lost to the Jags on the road. It was a road game, but still just a brutal loss. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up again. I brought this up to my buddy James and our joint podcast that we did when I did the AFC North, and he joined me for the first part of that. We was talking about pretty much every team in the AFC, and the Chargers came up, and I was like, you know what, like, Justin Herbert is just a little overrated. And let me explain. I mean, he's a little overrated because I just think some people think he's fine. I think he still needs to improve a little bit. I still think at times he sort of just loses it or just makes a bonehead play every once in a while. He's a great quarterback. I see the talent in him. I watched him a few times. I'm not saying he's bad or he shouldn't be getting this attention, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that this is going to keep. He's had to keep going up. Like, I don't think he's as good enough yet to really put the Chargers somewhere where they want to be far as championship wise. That's all I'm saying. I think some people already think he's a championship caliber quarterback. I don't think he's that good, but he's good. I don't think he's that elite yet, but he's a great quarterback. He's talented. You see it with your eyes. He makes all the throws. So I'm not dismissing him like that, but I think far as like to think that this team has championship pedigree because of him, I can't go that far with him, and some people have. So that's all I'm saying far as overrated. But he's a great quarterback. He deserves his money. He got his money as well in the offseason. I'm not going to dismiss him. I think he's a good quarterback. But he still need to improve if they're going to beat the Chiefs. So they're going to challenge the Chiefs. That's my next question here. I still, as I said, I still don't think so. I still don't think they just good enough yet. Maybe they prove me wrong. Just don't think they're ready for the Chiefs yet still. Like I said, we'll see. I think the Chiefs pretty much just own this division despite all this, hoopla you hear about the Chargers, the Broncos, even the Raiders. But I think the only team that beat, I know they beat Denver like 15 times in a row. I think they beat the Chargers sort of similar to that, probably like 10 out of last 11 or something like that. So they just dominated this division. So until they start to get some wins against the Chiefs, you can't say that they will yet. But maybe this year be this year. Chiefs may, making some small little changes. They've changed, but Mahomes is just that good to carry them over the top. That's what Herbert gonna have to be if they are gonna challenge. So let's look at their schedule, see what they got coming up this season. Then we're gonna finally get to the Kansas City Chiefs here. Okay. Alright, so they start at home for the Dolphins. I'm real high on the Dolphins this year. You can go watch the AFC East. I think I'm gonna put a playlist together once I finish, once I get this video together. I'll put a playlist of all this season, all the roundabout, every division, in order the way I did them. So look out for that. Probably do that later on today. They start with the Miami Dolphins. The Chargers does. Then they go to Tennessee. The Titans, get DeAndre Hopkins. Like I said, Titans might be a little bit better this season. At Minnesota. And they host the Raiders at home. Then they get Dallas at home. That's a Monday night game. At Kansas City. For the first time, like I said, they get them out the way pretty. Oh no, they played them. I think they played final game of the season. So okay. So they get the Chiefs for the first time in Kansas City. Then they host the Bears. That's a Sunday night game. Then another primetime game Monday night at the Jets. Then they host the Detroit Lions at home. Then they go to Green Bay, face the Packers. Then they go to New England, face the Patriots. I think those two games quietly could be a little tough because it's colder. It's over November, December, so we'll see what they made of in those two games. And they come back home for the Broncos. Then at Las Vegas for the Raiders. That's a Thursday night game, that's what we already said. This is on Peacock, so this is the day before Christmas Eve, so I don't know exactly what day that's on, but it's just a Peacock game against the Bills. That should be a good one though too. At home. Then they at Denver to end the season. Then they host the Chiefs for their final game of the season. So again, like I said, just like the other schedule, not walking apart. Got some tough games on here, but they are a favorite for most of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they favored their first 5 games, and when they play Kansas City, they not. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they favored for 11 of these games. So, and some of these they only 1 point underdogs. So like I said, people high on the Chargers. So you're seeing that people more higher. Basically Vegas people not that high on Vegas, but the Chargers and the Broncos, pretty decent support with those two teams. We about to go to the Chiefs, but it's all about winning the games you're not supposed to. I don't want to call them upsets, but games where it's basically you flip a coin. You gotta hope the coin land on your side. Maybe that's the type of season the Chargers will have. They could be a playoff team again, but like I said, the AFC is just so loaded, man. And I think it's going to depend on schedules and things of that nature. So we'll see. But Justin Herbert's the truth. I just think he's somewhat. I think some people putting him too high at this point. I think he need to still improve. All right, so excuse me. We go to our final team, the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champion. Kansas City Chiefs wins the Super Bowl last season against the Eagles. A few things bounced their way, a few calls went their way. You can argue that, but they still won the game. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. They're the Chiefs. Won the last 2 out of 3 Super Bowls. So been to a few since Mahomes been there, but they've been at least to the AFC title game. So but dynasty, that's the word everybody been throwing around all day. A dynasty. I think in the modern era, for this era right now, as we sit here, I would say yes to an extent, but it's not like New England. Like New England set a whole new standard, like as far as dynasty. So they, of course, they still need 20 more years. But as far as the last 5 years, they've been the best team in the NFL, bar none. It hasn't been close. So if you were to base it on the last 5 years, or since Mahomes took over, then yes, they've been the best team, clearly, in the NFL. Andy Reid, like I said, I'm glad people starting to really give him his props, you know, about being a Hall of Famer and where he lands and all-time coaching. I think he's done a great job everywhere he's been. Well, even though he only been 2 places in Philadelphia, I think he did great there. What he did for Donovan McNabb and just everything that he did in Philadelphia that comes here, finally wins a Super Bowl. I think Andy Reid definitely glad he's starting to get his flowers, as the young people say. Now, you know, while he's doing what he's doing. Can they repeat? I mean, of course. I mean, they can. I just think it's going to be very, very hard this year. Like I just mentioned, all these good AFC teams, let alone this division. You go out east, you got Buffalo, who's been somewhat of a challenger for them a little bit. Now the Jets and improved. The Dolphins, like I said, I really like the Dolphins. Some people, I think the Dolphins is either you love them or you hate them. They in that sort of category. Some people don't think Tua will make that next step. I believe he can. If he does, I think Miami, you got to put them in that category. New England, like I said, they still New England, so they, you know, can't dismiss them either. We go to the north, you got the Ravens, you got the Steelers, you got the Bengals. The Bengals has been there. Actually beat them in Kansas City a couple times, so that's the team there. Cleveland is not that bad. Like I said, we go south. Now the south, you know, that's probably where you go down a little bit. Just unsure about the Jags, even though the Jags, I think it's their division to lose. The Titans has been sort of hovering around for years. Houston and Indianapolis seem like they rebuilding, but they still have talent there, so they're not going to just be a walkover. And we come to this division, like I said, Denver, Vegas, and the Chargers have something to bring to the table. So just a gauntlet that the Chiefs going to have to go through just to get back to the Super Bowl. And then it might be a rematch. Because like I said, I really high on the Eagles in the NFC. That's why I can't wait till I really start breaking down my predictions, because it's going to be hard, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Right now I can't tell you who's going to come out any of these conferences. Like, it's easy to pick the Chiefs and the Eagles. It's easy to just go back to that again, especially the Eagles. I think the Eagles definitely got a better shot at coming back. But I see how I feel in a couple of weeks. At least I get a couple of weeks to think about it. So, like I said, what the Chiefs have done the last 5 years, losing Tyreek Hill, I really thought that was going to make a difference, but it didn't. As far as they're winning anyway. Travis Kelce started to getting that elite tight end class of all time. As far as one of the best I've ever seen him. Me, I'm about to show my age, Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez, Rob Gronkowski, Dennis Kelce. Those guys are the elite tight ends of all time there. So that I've seen in my lifetime. So Travis Kelce definitely is there. Chiefs are the Chiefs. So until they proven otherwise, you know, unless they come short of an AFC Championship game, can't dismiss them, man. They're the best team in the NFL. So let's take a look at their schedule. Shouldn't be a surprise that their schedule might be a little tough, you know. Let's take a look at them. Gotta pull it up. Sorry about that. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, the champion always start on Thursday night. They get the Lions. That should be a fun game. So September 6th is when you'll see me again. So like I said, that's a couple weeks from now. That's when you'll see me again. I'm gonna do an NFL walls to wall preview show. We'll cover all 32 teams. I might just go ahead and do a live to make it easy. I might just make that a live stream. And we're gonna cover all 32 teams. I'm gonna give you my predictions, my division winners, my wild cards, all that. MVP, defensive player of the year. Might even try to dip into the rookie of the year, offensive defense. So we're going to cover everything. So make sure you join me for that show, September 6th. I get more details when we get closer to the date. But that will be when I do my NFL preview show, the day before the season. So, because there could be injuries between now and then, and any other thing else. So I want to wait till the last possible second to make my predictions. So definitely join me for that show. I put stuff on social media and everything else to remind everybody of that. So definitely join me for that. But the next day, November 7th, that's when the season starts. And the Chiefs will host the Lions to kick off the season that Thursday night. Then they go to Jacksonville, face the Jags. Then they head home for the Bears. Then they go to New York, face the Jets. That's a Sunday night game. At Minnesota. Then Thursday night host the Broncos. Then they get the Chargers at home. Then they go to Denver, face the Broncos. Then this is I don't know if it's in London. I don't know where this is. Well, I guess it's in London with the 9:30. So yeah, it's gotta be London against the Dolphins. That'll be an interesting game. Super Bowl rematch. Eagles host the Chiefs host the Eagles. Super Bowl rematch in November. That should be an interesting game where both of those teams are by then. On the road against the Las Vegas Raiders, division game. Sunday night at Green Bay against the Packers. Then they host the Bills. Yeah.
Are you eating now?
Not really.
Alright, because I'm not going to put fries on it for you then.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, got the Bills in December at home. Sorry about the interruption. Then New England, Monday night game in New England. Then at Kansas City for the Chiefs. For the Raiders. Sorry, back home for the Raiders. Then the Bengals, the late season game. That's gonna be interesting in Kansas City. New Year's Eve. The Raiders game is on Christmas, by the way. I think Christmas is on a Sunday this year. I don't know. And the final game of the season at the host in LA for the Chargers, and that's how they season with it. So, of course, tough schedule. Bengals, Bills. Of course, you expected that. Jags, all these teams for last year. Eagles in the Super Bowl rematch. So, yeah. So not an easy schedule, but they're the Chiefs. So, now let me see this. Now I should have did this all the time, but I just like to see where they favorite. Let's see if any game they're not favored in. I expect them to be favored in every game as of now. Well, the Bengals game, I don't know if that's an even, but there's no spread for that yet. And then the final game of the season is no spread because they don't know what time is going to be or whatever. But yeah, they favored in every game. Other than that, all the ones that's on record, they favored in every game. So not a surprise at all. So yep. So y'all, we got through it. We got through all 8 divisions. That's AFC North was special because I'm a Ravens fan, and I was able to talk to a Steelers fan, my buddy James. I was talking to him yesterday about this division, so I'm definitely make sure he gets note on this video being posted. So let me see, what time is it now? Oh, we've been on here a little while. About almost 40 minutes. So I'm what time is it? 5:20 Eastern. So say around probably close to 6 o'clock it should be ready, and I put out a reminder to people. Yep. So, but my final thoughts, just thank you guys. Like I said, I know I haven't been doing a lot of content. Like I said, it's just been a whole lot going on. Like I said, I told you guys about my injury at work, but I still been working. I missed just a few days. Still having issues walking, but other than that, I'm fine. Like I said, I wanted to do more like other projects like the Hades. I've been playing that a lot though. I've been playing that offline. I mean, off YouTube. I think I might do a live on that. I've been doing a lot of content the next 2 days. I'm off the next 2 days, Sunday, Monday. Now is my 2 days off. So I'm gonna definitely do some stuff. Definitely tomorrow for sure. I'm gonna try to do a lot of content tomorrow. Hades, Crash Team Rumble. Like I said, I think I'm gonna set up a live for that tonight. So stay tuned for all that. I'm sorry I ain't been doing like Sonic Origins. I sort of got away from as well. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm behind on, so I'm gonna try to catch up. But I thank you guys so much for the support. I thank you guys for being patient. Channel been on a little bit of a standstill, and I think that sort of discouraged me as well. I wasn't getting a lot of views still, so I sort of just said, well, let me focus again on things going on behind the scenes, and just kick out a few videos here and there. But hopefully this will get some traction. We got the defending champion Chiefs in here, in a very good division, so we'll see how this video do. But I'm gonna set up a playlist from all the Roundabout Division Series. We're gonna put them in order, or you could just, like I said, you could pick what division you into and do it that way. So with that being said, y'all, I'm just gonna go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you guys' support. Shout out to Good Vibes. We probably about to get busy again, going back to school. So good luck with your schoolwork this year, buddy. Shout out to my man James. Shout out to everybody that's been supportive. People at my job, stuff like that. My friend I stay with, everybody. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Like I said, I'm gonna put a playlist together so you can go back and look at your favorite team or your favorite division in NFL. And I won't be back till Wednesday, November 6th. That is the date. We'll do a all-out preview show. We're gonna do a live stream. Hopefully we get some traction. People can come in and talk about their team. So I'm hoping that happens. I'm gonna give you my predictions, my Super Bowl predictions. So thank you guys so much. I'm Troy West, and thank you for watching Side Sports and Gaming channel. Peace and love always, and you guys stay safe. A lot of stuff going on in the world, so please stay safe, love each other, care for each other, and I'll see you guys on November 6th. But check out the channel for my other projects, my video game projects that I do. So thank you guys so much. Peace and love always.